My husband's ex-wife lost her high-paying job. Now my children's education is in jeopardy.
Not the kids.
Do, 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 do. I am 42 female with 2 children, 16 female and 12 male with my ex, Danny. I have been married to Greg, 44 male, who had a son, 15 male, and daughter, 10 female, with his ex, Laya. We met at our children's school. Danny and I jointly fund our children's private school, and they have college funds set up by both sets of grandparents. He is loaded.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, this comes from Not a Doormat at Naomi. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So my ex and I don't like each other, but we co-parent well and want the best for the kids. Greg and I have decided that the things we buy and treat kids with are equal at home, but school and college funds won't be mixed, as our exes are involved, as well as gifts from ex-partners. We've had to teach the kids the differences about the income when it comes to my ex's kids. The kids are nice to each other and share things, although they definitely love their bio siblings way more. Greg and his ex jointly fund their children's education too, but Laya lost her job recently and has had to downgrade. That means they can't pay for the same school. They had to change schools. Now he is pressuring me that his kids hate that my children go to a bigger international school and we should change schools after summer. So basically asking to compromise on their child's education because they can't afford it.
The grandparents are asking that?
So Greg and
Yes.
his ex, OP is 42 female,
Yes.
right? Has an ex, Danny. Greg has an ex, Laya. Greg and OP are together. And
Buy in their
yeah.
partner. Yep.
And Laya has a partner and Danny has a partner, right? So, and also the grandparents have like Danny and them fund the children's private school. So Danny, her ex, and Danny is loaded.
Right. We are caught up.
Let me know if we need to bring out the whiteboard. So basically what happened is Greg and his ex were doing, private school, but then Laya lost his job, lost her job, and they couldn't afford it anymore. And Greg's like, you should downgrade too. And
Yeah.
this is like OP and Greg are currently dating.
Yes.
So I told him that my kid's education can't be compromised. And it was clear to us that we are responsible for our children's school as well as college education. We are fighting a lot on this, and he is saying I'm being too tough. He's sleeping in the other room, but I won't change anything regarding my children, and my ex alone can pay for the children's education, even if I try to do this. And also, my kids will never forgive me. I love Greg, but this is the hill I will pass away on. I don't think he would have changed his kids' schools if this were the case on my side. Even if it means I have to lose him, I'm hurting inside, but I want the best for my children. There is an edit, there is an update, but yeah, John, what do you think about this so far?
Yeah, I mean, basically, you shouldn't have to change your. I think, like you said, it's like if the scenario was reversed, like, would you say the same thing?
Yeah. No, you should never compromise your children's education.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not.
So edit. I can't take the solo decision on my children's education. My ex will drag me to court and mind wash the kids against me. And second, stop sending spicy sleep messages. I am not interested in cheating on my husband.
Oh, no.
And everyone says OP is not the a-hole, but there are some relevant comments. So this is the downvoted commenter. Everyone's the a-hole. Honestly, it just seems like a pride thing. If you were able to help bridge a year for his kids, that would be appropriate given you're their stepmother and Greg's wife. If his ex couldn't get another job, then switching makes sense. If all of this was couched as your ex is effectively paying for your children, it might hurt Greg's feelings if he can't keep up, but I think the kids would understand even if they're not happy. There just seems to be too many emotions and strong feelings now wrapped up in the discussions. OP responds, there is no pride here. First, my ex will never accept my terms, and he will tell the kids that I wanted to change their schools. He will never agree to it if I'm just trying to please my husband. After paying for kids, I contribute equally to household budget. We have our retirement plans, and there isn't much money left at the end of the month. I can't just bring money out of nowhere to pay for their schools. My eldest has entered 11th grade, and this school's main focus is on getting kids to top colleges in my country. Uprooting the kids will cause more damage to their career aspects, and I can't compromise on their future. I want them to have success in life, and this school opens doors like no one else in our area. Yeah, especially like 11th grade, that's That's junior year, right when you're applying to colleges. To pull them out now would be ridiculous.
Yeah, it would be a huge uproot of not just their life and like some of the final most like pivotal shaping moments before they go into adulthood, but also their like future chances of success in their career and all that jazz.
Commenter 2. The generous thing to do would be to help pay for his kids' schooling until their mother can step back up. Being the better person versus passing away on hills is something to consider given the long-term effect of this situation. OP responds, the thing is, we don't have much money left after all expenses. I can't afford it. I don't have extra money lying around. I contribute equally to household budget and our retirements. How long has OP been with Greg? OP responds, 5 years. And another downvoted comment, he should have found someone who would love his kids as their own. If those were both of their kids, they would be paying. Again, this is not about OP not loving her stepkids. It's more that she has an agreement with her ex-partner on how their kids should be parented together, and ultimately on the biological parents or like the people that are stewarding the children, and not the biological parents, but the legal parents, the legal parents, to advocate for what they want for their children. And if the dad doesn't want his kids moving schools and the kids don't want them moving schools, then I don't see any reason for this to change. You know?
I agree.
If those were both of their kids, they would both be paying. The emotional damage that this is going to cause is going to put his kid in therapy, and she couldn't care less. From reading here, I feel incredibly sad for single parents who have the responsibility to find someone who is going to love their kids as their own. And OP responds, I love my stepchildren, but from where can I bring the money from? Trees? How can I control my ex? He can afford to send my kids to Harvard. He will gift my son a BMW when he turns 18. How do you expect me to compete with that? How can I control it? Tell me, Sherlock. I care for them, but some things aren't in my hands, which include my ex's decisions regarding our children. I gift same things to each kid. I contribute more than half of our budget for the household. I don't have extra cash lying around. And another downvoted comment, have you asked your kids or children what they wanted? I personally think it's toxic that this is not mentioned and that this is really the only thing that matters. Man, there's a lot of rough comments in here.
Throwing shots today.
Yeah. OP responds, they don't want to leave their school. They have their friends there and their dad study there. He will never take them away from the school. And there is a
big, fat, juicy update.
Annalisa Chirila says he is not a single dad. There is a mom in the picture. Yeah.
Y'all know, y'all know.
Neither of them are single parents. Both of them have an ex in the picture. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's about supporting the kids at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. And I feel like it's just ridiculous to ask to jeopardize a child's education to make it equal. You know, like it just doesn't make any sense.
It makes you should want the absolute best in whatever that scenario ends up being for any given child, if that opportunity is available. If the opportunity is there, take it. Why not?
So, update. I got lots of support as well as criticism. People told me I should have married a rich guy again. Sorry, love doesn't ask for a bank balance. Some said I am an evil stepmother. I pay more than half of the household bills. I pay for the mortgage. I don't have much extra money left, and I have personal expenses too. Should I stop living at all? I have to dress decently at the office, have to buy things for myself, and my ex will drag me to court if I even dare change it, and my kids will hate me. I can't lose them. So anyway, here's the update. After I made this thread the same day, I told Greg that I can't continue. I told him that my ex will never agree, nor will I agree to it. I told him, is there any aid the school could provide to the kids? He told me that his ex and him asked the school and they refused. I told him that if he is going to fight me over this every day, we better split up. His expectations are going over the top. Tomorrow, Danny might gift expensive cars to our kids. Do we have to sell a kidney to give the same cars to the stepchildren? Tomorrow, he transfers businesses to his kids. Would we expect them to give shares to stepchildren? He apologized and said he doesn't want to leave me. He cried and we had a heart-to-heart. The next day, we invited Leah and we devised a plan. Leah also has lots of debt and she is drowning.
I am under the water. Please help me.
With all the salary changes and little compromises here, like 1 vacation a year rather than 2. We can afford fees for the elder stepchild. I will contribute some to it too. Greg's son, who is 15 and is in 10th class, so we can afford his fees for 3 years. 10 female would still need to go to a cheaper school for 3 years if Leah's and Greg's financial condition doesn't change, which might change in the future. But when her brother passes out in 3 years, he will transfer back to a better school again. We talked to the school again, and he is transferring back in a few days. So basically, one kid is going to get the private school, like, full education. The other kid is not, but it matters less because the kid is like younger.
Yeah, like
But
10. So
yeah,
it's like,
yeah. The kid is happy, and even though the stepdaughter's a little sad, we cheered her up, and we'll try to make it up to her in other ways. I know many asked to divorce, but he isn't a bad person. Yes, he reacted harshly, but he apologized to my kids and me. This is it for now. Thanks for every positive comment and suggestion. Take care. There is an edit, and there is more to this story, but do you think OP is making the right decision in not divorcing?
I mean, it seems like they have finally come to an understanding. I mean, what's the whole point of like so many issues on this show where it's like, hey, come together, fully communicate, realize where each other is standing from, and then work together to find the solution. It seems like they have done that.
Yeah,
here.
they are doing that.
Yeah, and it seems like Greg is genuinely remorseful, it seems, so far. Time will tell. We've seen some crocodile
Plans
tears.
are crap again.
Exactly.
That's what Winston Churchill said.
Indeed. So, but as long as I think this kind of continues, then I think we could be looking good.
All right. Well, we got an edit. So also to add people making assumptions that I am taking from my children. No, my post was about education of our kids and our agreement. If I was the only one paying fees, I would have never accepted Greg's ultimatum. I would have chosen divorce. So stop assuming. Nothing has been taken from my children. And someone in my very first comment said, I do bare minimum for the kids and the ex does the heavy load. My ex earns millions. How could you expect me to compete? I pay for things in my capacity. I do savings for them and many other activities. If that is bare minimum, then so be it. This forum people are hypocrites. If I find a solution, I become suddenly a bad mother. If I don't, I am an evil stepmom. My contribution is very less to stepson's private school, and it doesn't affect our budget or my children's needs. Greg also does a lot of things for my kids, and they have a good relationship, but my post wasn't about that. And I have a final edit. Keep crying under my comments. I won't change a thing or two, lol. We're all happy with this, and my children are well taken care of. And stepdaughter will be back to a top school after a few years. People with pathetic mentality will find negatives in everything. Stay mad. Ciao. I think this is a person that has not experienced the wrath of Reddit before.
No. This is like someone definitely new to the internet and like new to Reddit. And, but funny, I love seeing the
innocence,
the innocence
leave their eyes.
The reaction of the nascent Reddit user. You know what I mean? That's fun.
So your compromise is degrading every kid's education to make equal with the stepdaughter. There is no gender bias. If the elder was a girl, she would have got preference over a younger brother. She will be back to a top school at 13 again, or maybe earlier. It isn't a perfect solution, but a middle one. His college prep will start from next year, so he has 1 extra year. And stepdaughter will be back to the same private school at the age of 13 and will get the same college prep. Here, elder kid is given preference because of college chances and circumstances. A 5th class isn't as important as college preparation. There's no gender bias. By the way, I am not biased when I say the best podcast you could possibly listen to listen to full episodes of stories just like this is OK Storytime.
Ooh.
So just search on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app, OK Storytime. There's another relevant update, but let's discuss. What do you think about where we're landing here with our peeved hero here?
Yeah, OP's heated, but in action. You know what I mean? I mean, we talked with Greg. It seems like we came to an understanding, put together a plan, put that plan into action. Kids are, I think OP says not perfect, but it's like a middle ground plan where we are still.
I like the middle ground plan.
Yeah. It's still. I think it's smart. We're still using our resources effectively, and I think ultimately able to give all the children like the best with what's at hand. And this is evasive maneuvering, parenting in action in a good way.
In a good way. Yeah, I agree. And yes, schooling matters here. It is in America where public schools are best. Private schools decide your best college opportunities. And some are saying stepdaughter will resent. If she's going to resent me in the future, it's up to her. I'm not going to listen to tantrums. I'm doing what is possible in my capacity, and we will provide her with the same opportunities in 3 years. But his elder sibling's career is on the line. A college is more important than 5th class. As simple as that. Unacceptable concern. Stop spamming my mentions. There's no gender bias here. Only elder sibling is given more chance right now, regardless of gender. Sorry if you think loving kids is being a doormat. You guys were never given love.
Oh my God.
Your negative replies won't change my stance, and I know what I'm doing. If you think my husband is using me, I am not here to change your mind. I know what he does for me and has done for me in my whole life. Money isn't the end of the world, and we are happy overall. Ciao. And I hope that is the last ciao we see from OP, because, man, OP is getting heated.
Just firing off.
Heated. Oh, man. Dude, I feel like Reddit was hitting her with every little thing under the book, like your husband's using you, your daughter's gonna hate you, you're a bad stepmom, like why are you you're sexist for favoring your daughter. They were hitting her with the book.
And you know what happened too, because not every OP claps back as hard as this OP. So I think everyone's like, oh, you want to go? Here we go, baby.
You can't. I mean, like, it's like
hilarious
fighting with. I feel like fighting with like Redditors in the comments is like going up against a zombie horde with your fists.
Yeah.
Like, you're just gonna be
versus a gorilla.
Yeah, you're just gonna get tossed.
It's just gonna be crazy. It's just what's gonna happen.
But that was the end of that story.
Oh,
not the end of this episode.
Oh,
let's freaking do this thing.
Bada bing, bada boom. Bada bing, bada boom. My husband refused to drive me to work, even though my wrist is broken.
Drive yourself. One hand can work, you know. Bloop, 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 bloop.
There it is. So a couple of days ago, I was doing yard work and I tripped, fell, and broke my wrist. It's in a cast and will be for at least 4 weeks. I work full-time in person about 30 minutes away from home, and I took the last 2 days off from work, but I need to go back on Monday. I can't drive my car because it's stick shift, and the wrist I broke is on the arm I used to shift. That is...
Ooh, stick shift is rough.
Because it could have been like the other arm and could have... Oh, man. I can't grab the shifter to change gear, so I can't drive it. My husband drives an automatic, and while it wouldn't be the greatest thing, I could drive it. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Broken Driver. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So I asked him if he would mind switching cars with me until I am able to shift gears again. He said no, because he doesn't like driving my car. In fairness...
I mean, yeah. Our Christian, our roommate, has a stick shift car and will park it in front of my car, and I'm afraid to move that.
But are you married to Christian?
In some ways I am. Yes. In some ways I am.
Now, I taught him how, and he's used it before. He just doesn't like it. So I asked if he would drive me to and from work at least a few times per week. He also said no because he doesn't want to wake up early. Well, dang. He works 3 shifts per week in the evenings. I would be home with his car before he had to leave for work. He would also have to drive me home from work without being late. I am also the breadwinner, and we need the money that I make from working. He told me I should just Uber. But
wrecked.
I thought he was saying like just quit your job and drive Uber. It's like
True.
like take an Uber to your work. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about?
DoorDash.
Right? Yeah, come on. He told me I should just Uber, but that would be $60 per day, and I can't afford that. I feel unsupported. I get the situation sucks, but a couple years ago when his car wasn't working, I let him use my car. He worked more back then, 5 days per week. So I let him use it to go to work and also to go out with friends and stuff. So I feel I am not being reciprocated. He doesn't owe me for that, but also he isn't willing to help me out with this, and the inconvenience for letting me use his car is much less for him because he'd be sleeping when I was using it. Where do I go from here? Am I asking or expecting too much? And we do have some relevant comments, but really quick, Sammy boy, what do you think?
So OP's wrist is broken, and she's essentially asking her husband to drive her while her wrist is broken.
Or like use his car, which keep in mind, she let him, in like a very similar scenario like 5 years ago, she lent him her car.
If you're not willing to learn stick shift for your girl who has a broken wrist, You don't deserve her.
He already
honestly.
knows it, but he just doesn't like it.
I would learn stick shift from my girlfriend.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah, I would.
That's right.
I tried to learn it. I mean, I guess like Christian was my girlfriend before this girlfriend, and so I did not learn stick shift for him. So
He does have pretty eyes.
he does.
But,
Yeah, it's
you
the
know.
prettiest eyes in 8th grade.
That's right. Voted.
Voted by 8th grade class. True.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I agree, but let's see what the comments have to say.
Yeah, he was.
I agree about that too.
He was
Yes.
voted pretty size.
I bet he did have the prettiest eyes.
You know,
in
it's
8th grade and today.
a fact.
It is a fact. Yes.
Fact.
Yeah,
He
you're right.
had
Yeah.
the
I don't
prettiest
believe I know. There
he
we
had
go.
the prettiest eyes in 8th grade.
There we go. Non-debatable.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
But on to these debatable comments. Angflu says, he kind of does owe you, though, because a marriage is a partnership. He does need to step up here. Really quick, I actually did like OP's take on that, where it's like, hey, I helped him because I wanted to help him. He doesn't like, it's not like a tit for tat
Yeah.
owing me. I liked that mindset. OP says, I agree he needs to step up. By he doesn't owe me, I mean, I didn't let him use my car so one day I could throw it in his face and be like, well, I let you use my car. But also, I did do that. And the inconvenience was greater for me than it would be for him. Angflu responds, he owes you because you're his wife and you need help that he can give.
Owes you. He should just like
Do it.
Yeah, it's like that's the beauty of a partnership is you want to
You
help
do
and
things
support
for each other.
Yeah.
Because you love each other.
And again, the context of he's literally asleep. So it really would be very little skin off of his nose for her to use the car. So kind of crazy. Zombie Nugget says he needs to step up or GTFO. Tell him he's being immature and lame. And if he doesn't let you use his car, you'll just take time off from work and he can pay the bills.
Get wrecked.
Honestly, considering you do all the yard work, it shouldn't be a big ask. OP replies to that, we can't make it on just his income alone, and I won't be able to pay my part in full if I have to spend $60 per day on Uber. I don't know what he expects to happen. I also don't do all the yard work. I was just doing some and fell. I was picking up sticks and leaves from the winter so he could mow the lawn. And then Abject Director 7626 says, well, that's the thing he needs to understand. If he doesn't help you get to work, you don't work, and then your part becomes his part. It would all be his part to pay. Is that what he wants? And then Aaron Hood says, why is he being such a wiener about switching cars? It's completely logical to switch cars. And we do have an update.
Oh,
Kelke says he's cheating. That's a curveball.
I don't want to go straight to he's cheating, but I could see it.
You know what?
Now
Just
that
to
you're-
because
Oh,
we
my
did.
dogs are out.
Just because
My dogs. My dogs.
They're barking.
Are out. They're
We need to put a muzzle on
barking.
those.
All right, here we go. Boom. That's how you end up on Foot Finder.
There we go. Just to continue our theme of opposite day, I'm gonna go for the Hail Mary. He's cheating.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go for it and see what
I'm
happens.
gonna hope that's not true.
I was right on the Hail Mary before.
You were. I'm
So I might go
gonna,
2
I'm
for
gonna
2
be,
today.
I'm gonna anti your Hail Mary right
Here we
now,
go.
and believe they're just safely at home, not copulating with people outside their marriage.
Well, let's see who wins today, chat. This will be fun. Updates. So I got a lot of advice on my last post. Some helpful, some not. A lot of people slammed him for not working more. I want to clear that up. He was working the same amount of hours as I was, sometimes more, but his hours got cut at work. He's been looking for a new job or a second one, but hasn't had much luck. I know he has been looking and putting in the effort. That is not an issue. But I sat down with him and said that we really need to talk about this because I had to go to work today, Monday. I sat down and told him I get he is having a hard time with his hours being cut and trying to navigate the job market. But I have a good job and I need to get there. And I can't afford to Uber a car while I heal. We need to find a solution. He kept talking in circles with the same reasons that I mentioned in the last post.
I don't like driving your car.
Ugh.
So I'm not going to do it.
How about you learn, bucko?
Dude. Come on. I don't know exactly what I said, but it was something along the lines of, that is not good enough for me. I don't accept those reasons, and I don't think they're true. What is the actual reason? We are married and partners. Why am I left hanging like this?
I really hope it's not cheating. I really hope it's not cheating.
So he finally told me the truth. Since his hours got cut, he hasn't been maintaining his car. He had savings and maintained his car when he worked more, but when his hours got cut, he started using his savings to pay his part of the bills. And when it ran low, he finally let me readjust our spending. I pushed for it from the start, but he refused. But when his savings ran low, his car started having problems and he couldn't afford to fix it. He needs new tires. He needs new brakes. The AC has stopped working. And he also is well overdue for an oil change. He used to keep up with his stuff, but he hasn't because he's low on money. He was ashamed and he didn't want me to use his car or ride in it because he didn't want me to know how bad it was.
Oh, she's not.
But like,
That's kind of cute. I feel like
honestly though, like it's just like a little bit tragic because it's like, here he is like suffering in silence when I'm sure she would be like, hey, how can I lend a hand to help?
Yeah, no, it's whack that he didn't say anything, but
Yeah.
I feel like this is way better of a situation and an outcome than him cheating.
Better than cheating. I
Better
will
than
give it.
cheating.
Hey, listen, there's still time.
That's like,
Okay, sir?
I feel like that would be a great like milk. Like, try Altadena milk. It's better than cheating.
That is a great slogan, honestly. You just put that on anything.
Yeah,
It's better than cheating. Maybe like a gym or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
don't go out and find a secret lover.
Yeah.
Go out and
Go
get
go and
buff.
pump some
Oh, I
iron.
thought you were saying like it's kind of like a so-so milk. Like it's just okay, but it's better than
Great,
cheating.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we all know how
Decent.
great cheating is.
Samuel Donner, 2025. More quotes to the board. So he was embarrassed, so he never brought it up. So he has been driving an unsafe car and he didn't want me to drive it. After a very long talk, we came to a solution. I will buy him used tires. They need to be done, but can wait a week as we get this set up. Yesterday, we replaced the brake pads and did an oil change. I couldn't physically help, but I read him the steps and looked at things when he wasn't sure. Love the teamwork there. His dad also helped over FaceTime. Between our brains, we figured it out. We decided not to mess with the AC because that's a comfort thing and not necessary, especially during this time of year. By the way, what is necessary at all points of the year
I know what's necessary.
is listening to OK Storytime on Spotify, Apple, and iHeart, wherever you listen to your podcast, and just search OK Storytime. We've got 2,000 episodes.
Freaking do it. We got episodes that will worm their way into your little ear holes.
Yes. By the way, guys, why aren't you listening as much on the pod? Like we have way more people on other places. So come join us over there.
Come join us on the pod.
Comment on
It's great.
Spotify if you're listening right now.
It's great.
To be honest, we'll say hi. But we are nearing the end of the story. How are we feeling about the outcome of what has happened?
I'm glad he's not cheating. I'm glad your
There's
Hail
still story
Mary
left.
did not. That's true. But
Still
I'm-
story left.
Right now, it's feeling like your Hail Mary is not coming true. So that makes me happy.
I'm staying confident. I'm doubling down.
I'm hoping if you're Tom Brady, you're retiring right now.
You know what? He's got a secret family.
He's got a secret family.
We're doubling
and that
down.
he smooches just as much as his regular family.
Exactly.
He's getting little French kisses to every.
That's why he
man,
can't
woman,
afford his
and
car.
Child.
Paying for a second family.
Too busy smooching.
Well, let's find out.
That's Tom Brady that he kisses his kids on the lips, right?
That's right. That's right.
Weird.
Loves his
Right?
children, man.
He loves, yeah.
Loves his kids too
yeah,
dang
yeah.
much, bro.
Come on, hate on a man for loving his children. You know, we're always saying men don't show affection, and here Tom Brady is being a beacon of light.
Yep.
In
Oh,
a
sorry if I
world-
love my kids too much. Arrest me.
Sorry, I'm not your.
Okay.
Yeah, arrest.
Sure. All right. Well, Tom Brady's arrest aside, let's close out this story here. So, in all, he was having a private struggle I wasn't aware of. I usually don't go in his car, so I never noticed. And this morning, he drove me to and from work. There we go, more teamwork. And either he will drive me or I will drive myself with his permission. Depends on the day. I knew he was struggling with a lack of income, and I have been pushing and pushing for him to let me do more. But he held out due to pride, and his car suffered. And honestly, I think I might do the same thing. I still feel a bit betrayed, and the trust has eroded a bit. But at the same time, I also feel like I got closer to him. It's a weird feeling I can't explain, but in the end, I can get to work with his help. And we got a comment from Brainy Brink. Pride and lying can unalive a relationship as quickly as cruelty. Unless your husband sees that sharing burdens are the only way to success as a married couple, he will sabotage the future. And Fart Master Champ says,
Wow, what a name!
a lot of great usernames today.
I want to name my firstborn that.
Yeah, fart master.
Fart master champ.
Dude, he's gonna be so not bullied in school. It's gonna be crazy.
Dude, no, I mean he's the master of farts, dude.
Heralded as a champion.
Yeah, he is. Fart master? Are you kidding me?
It could work out in his favor.
Dude, what's your name? Fart master.
Coolest kid in school.
So sick.
So sick.
I would love my kids to be like Bartholomew and then or like his real name to be Bartholomew and his nickname to be Brick. I just think Brick is such a great name. What's your name?
Straight for it.
Brick. Like, come on.
Go straight for it. That is a good unique
Great name.
Great name.
Great name.
But Fartmaster Champ says, wait, so he was nasty to his sick wife because he cared more about his pride? She had to literally beg him to communicate what was going on, and this was supposed to be a win for the relationship. Waiting for a death, how about you, says, exactly, and he would have encouraged her to waste $1,200 in Uber rides rather than use that money to fix the dang car. True. While he is fully aware they are struggling financially, all to cradle his ego. At first, I was like, I get that he was embarrassed. Not that he should have done that. Doesn't excuse it in the slightest. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the comments do bring up a good point of like, hey, look, you were about to let her like burn all this money when it's like, you could have just put that into your car.
Yeah.
And then you did all of this because to like protect your ego, like help. Don't hurt your wife quite literally in some cases to protect your ego.
Yeah.
That's pretty whack.
Pretty whack, but I feel like we're communicating. So
we're talking now.
Yeah,
we got there.
And he's not cheating, as far as we know.
There could always be an update.
There always could be an
I'm
update.
holding on to this.
But that is where that story ends. But
yep, we got one. S3, baby.
Anyway, let us get into this next story. I purposely make my wife upset so she will clean the house more.
That's terrible. Stop that.
I mean, but you got a clean house, John.
Stop that.
Trigger warning, emotional abuse.
Sounds like it.
Shouldn't have laughed on that one. Anyway, okay. This is crazy. All right. So I know the title sounds bad.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
Correct.
But hear me out. All right. I, 28 male, have been married to my wife, Lindsay, 25 female, for 2 years. We've been together for 7 years. Our marriage is great. Despite us both being busy with work, we still make time to go on dates and be intimate with each other whenever we can. By the way, this comes from Electronic Act 7658. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, I work in engineering, and Lindsay is a registered nurse. So I pay for most of the bills and utilities. We split the bills, but I pay for the majority of the cost because I make more. Lindsay usually fully covers grocery costs and the Wi-Fi, which isn't much because it's just the two of us. I feel that since I make and spend more money, Lindsay should make up for that in housework. I'm not some traditional wife-desiring a-hole.
I just want her to do everything.
Yeah, I just want her to do it all. I think it's great that she works and has goals for her career, unlike the women that I want in my life. I want her to, I swear. I feel like our chores are split fairly. It changes day by day depending on our schedules, but typically Lindsay cooks our meals. She's much better than me. I mean, of course. Trust me, you don't want me anywhere near a kitchen.
Oh, here we go.
I'll just make it worse.
Yeah, you're so good at folding clothes, babe. Like, oh no, I mean, like, you don't want me anywhere near those things. You're just so talented on that. And like, yeah, you wouldn't want me there. But it's nothing fancy or requiring a lot of effort. She does the dishes and vacuums, but it's not daily. It's more like as needed basis. I take out the trash weekly and wash our cars about once a month. This has always seemed fair to me, but recently I felt frustrated with her. I've been at my current job for 6 years and I've developed really great friendships. In my time there, there's a few of us that always get together on break for lunch and whatnot. And one of my coworkers, John, 35 male, has been married to his wife, Claire, for about 10 years, if my memory serves correctly. About a month ago, John invited me over and the rest of the gang, plus our wives, to have dinner at their house. Claire is a stay-at-home mom, so she handles everything at home while John works and brings home the bacon. I know this sounds bad, but I was jealous. Man wants that bacon lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Not because she's traditional bacon. Freaking honey roasted Canadian ham.
Oh, that sounds good.
Not because she's a stay-at-home mom, I don't want kids, but because John has a wife that actually puts effort into her food and cleaning.
And mine just does it on an as-need basis.
Yeah. Their house was immaculate, completely spotless. No dishes left in the sink, little knickknacks left out on the countertops, nothing. I couldn't believe it. Claire set the table and waited on everyone. She was thoughtful and made sure everyone's glasses were always full and would ask if she could get us more food.
You're describing a waitress.
He's like, guys, I don't want the like stereotypical like traditional wife that's like waiting on me hand and foot, but I want that.
If only I had a woman who was waiting on me.
I need it so bad.
My wife needs to step it up.
She made flaming yawn with mashed potatoes and roasted vegetables. Oh, it was amazing. And I can't remember the last time Lindsay put any effort into our meals. It's always something lazy like pasta. A lot of chicken-centered meals, tacos, quesadillas, everything requiring little to no effort. On the drive home, Lindsay made a comment about how Claire is an amazing cook and said she would like to have dinner with them again because they're great people. I agreed with her and said something along the lines of,
Here we go.
You ready for
Let's
it?
freaking go.
We're locked and loaded.
Drop it.
We're locked and
Drop
loaded.
it.
We're locked and freaking loaded. Also, Samantha L says, she works. Yeah, she's a registered nurse. Again, she works. So I said something along the lines of, you could, be a little bit more adventurous with your meal choices so we can eat good at home too. Just a thought. And by gosh, by golly, did this woman take offense to this and said she didn't realize her food was so bad. I said it wasn't, but it was nothing compared to Claire's.
Oh, no.
Because she puts effort for I feel the love in every dish. She stopped talking to me and was pouting like a child. She went to bed without speaking to me that night. I ended up apologizing the next day when she got home and she forgave me. Fast forward a week later and I became more and more frustrated. She was working 12-hour shifts. Where's my freaking pasta?
Where's my filet mignon?
Where's my filet mignon?
Filet mignon.
12-hour shifts more than usual, and as a result, her housework suffered.
Oh, my God.
But she's bringing in the same amount of money now.
She has to be making good money with this. 12 hours as a nurse?
But yeah, I think she's still not making as much as him. She would leave at 7 a.m. and come home at 7 p.m. And on some nights, she went straight to bed without making dinner.
Good.
She went straight
Good.
to bed. All right. If you're making so much money, my guy, there's this little thing.
Here we go.
A little secret.
Say it, Sam.
I'm going to put you on Uber Eats.
Oh, what is that? Oh, my God.
Boom. I just
What is
saved
this?
the marriage. Call me Dr. House.
But I'm a caveman. I don't understand.
But I just saved a marriage.
Also, where I'm from, if you say another woman's food is better than your wife's, that's cheating.
So Sophia Calhoun and chat was agreeing with you. Shout out.
I ended up getting takeout on those nights. Dishes were piling up in the sink. The carpets were becoming noticeably dirty, and she just sat in bed, scrolling on her phone or sleeping. I tried to be understanding at first. At this point, she's used to working 12-hour shifts, so there's really no excuse.
Oh, my God.
I ended up having a talk with her and was brutally honest. I told her I'm not satisfied with her level of housework anymore, and I want her to do more. I want her to come home and make dinner, and I want her to put more effort into it. I gave her some examples of meals I would like to eat and suggestions for a way that she can clean before going to bed, such as drinking coffee or energy drinks on the way home.
Oh,
No!
no.
Come on. Just drink some coffee.
Oh, God.
I thought she was receptive to my ideas at first. But then, man, this guy is a regular Sherlock here. I realized she looked pissed using my powers of deduction and observation.
Oh, you don't say.
She very coldly asked me if I feel this way because of John's wife. And I answered honestly. And I said yes. I told her I would be embarrassed if my friends came over to have dinner with us after that dinner at John's.
Oh, my God.
You did.
She started tearing up when I said this. And I felt kinda bad for being so harsh. She didn't say a word to me and just left the room. I came out a short while later and saw her manically scrubbing a stain out of the carpet on her hands and knees, still crying. I asked her what she was doing. And she screamed, "What does it look like, you effing a-hole?" The stain she was scrubbing was pretty much gone, but she continued for what felt like hours. I started feeling sorry for pushing her to that point, but then I remembered something.
What'd you remember, buddy?
Then I had
what
an idea.
popped into your freaking brain, your pea-sized little noodle up there?
Something that could work out great for me. or go horribly wrong.
No.
When she was in high school, she was in a psych ward. She told me she used to neglect herself when she felt really depressed, but after being in the ward, she obviously cleans when she feels depressed or overwhelmed because of the habits they drilled into her. I almost felt like a DC villain because of the huge smirk that crept on my face. So the next night she got home at 7 p.m., I told her I had something to confess to her, and she looked petrified. I told her I was sorry, but I watched Corn while she was at work because I was lonely. She ended up throwing up from crying so much, but just as I thought, she started cleaning. This guy's evil. This guy's evil.
Dude, what?
What?
This guy's evil. If you didn't think he was evil before, oh my God. She washed all the dishes by hand. That's how I like it. I don't want some robot washing my dishes. I want blood, sweat. I want my wife's blood, sweat, and tears on these dishes. Instead of using the dishwasher, she dusted everything. Every fan, every TV screen, every shelf. I didn't want it to be too obvious, so I started limiting this trick 4 times a week max. Skip to present day. I made a joke at lunch with my coworkers about how I trained my wife to love cleaning. Everyone was laughing and asked for the secret. So I said, all I got to do is make her cry. And she wants to clean.
Please, please come for this man. Please. Please do it, coworkers.
Daniel asked me what I mean, and I told him how her response to being upset is to clean, so I've been upsetting her on purpose. Everyone was silent while I was still laughing. Adam asked why, in a very unamused tone. I spilled the beans about how Claire made me realize how unmotivated my wife is, and I wish Lindsay was more like her. The rest of lunch was pretty awkward, and I felt like I made everyone uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Men, again, nothing gets past this guy.
Bro is, God, I can't even.
I ended up texting John to ask if I did something wrong because he didn't come by my station before leaving like he usually does. He told me he felt really weird about the way I was treating my wife and idealizing his. He told me I was being an a-hole and emotionally abusing her when I should just communicate. I argued against this because I did communicate. I told her exactly what I wanted from her, and all she did was make excuses about being tired from work and needing sleep. She even suggested that I should clean more if the state of the house bothers me so much, and that I should learn to cook before criticizing her. We would not be able to afford the house we live in if it weren't for me. The lifestyle we live is because of me, so why can't she just show appreciation by cleaning and cooking better meals? It's been 3 days now, and I am now sitting alone at lunch. When I sit with my usual group, everyone stops talking. I feel like I really effed up and want to make things right with my friends. Same time, I feel like what I'm doing is okay because it's not for no reason. She's actually cleaning more, and I'm so proud of her. Am I the a-hole because I want to keep doing it? And there's an edit, and there's an update. But is OP
This is the clearest.
the a-hole?
You are the a-hole in human space-time continuum history. That's it. You need to marry a F-doll and a maid.
Yep.
Because
A
that's
little robot.
actually, you just need a robot. Because I always say this. If you make such good money, apparently OP for this lifestyle, would you not want to, get cleaning, buy food or whatever so you could spend more time with the person who's supposed to be your best friend? Why would you not want that?
I mean, he just
would
wants
you not
someone
want
he can control. That's
He
what
wants someone he can control and be he wants a maid. He wants a maid, and he is doing some disgusting ways to coerce his wife into becoming that. And
But
that's
we
what
got an
have.
edit
Please.
when we got an update. So I understand that I'm the a-hole now and no, this is not fake. We're sorry to deprive you of that comfort. It's impossible not to recognize something is wrong with you when a good 80% of the commenters are calling it fake or hoping it is. I understand now that I mentally mistreated my wife, and I do want to fix it. Thank you to the 2 people who actually took the time to offer constructive feedback and advice. As much as I hate the thought, I'm going to seek out a professional. It is impossible for everyone to be wrong, and I'm right, even though that's what my brain is telling me. I know something is wrong with me, even though my brain is saying there isn't. Thank you all for helping me realize it. As per request, I will update in the future if there's any update, and there is an update.
Dude, before this happened, I remember scrolling on TikTok, and there was like, "Hey girls, what's like a way for your a trick you guys do with your husband?" And I was reading the comments. All of them were like placebo effect. It's like, "Oh yeah, if he cleans, I give him the like if he does this, I give him the." And I thought this is what it was gonna be. Like, "Oh yeah, she cleans, so I would give her the." But this is not the case.
It's not the case.
Not at all.
So update. Hi. Been a while. I don't have a lot to say, but I was asked to update if I ever did try therapy, and I did. I didn't like it.
No.
I dropped out of individual therapy after like 2 sessions. My therapist was more interested in my childhood than giving me actual advice, but stuck with couples therapy.
Okay.
I tried.
Okay.
I really did. The therapist and my wife would gang up on me. The therapist changed my wife a lot. She went from being kind and soft-spoken to rude and brazen. She would snap on me for absolutely nothing, constantly bring up things I've done in the past. She used it against me in an argument to try to make me submit. Remember how my wife is an RN? Yeah, well, she was effing cheating on me with some ugly see you next Tuesday working the same shifts as her. She confessed to that in therapy and said if I could forgive her, she could forgive me for all the things I've done. This is, who's worse?
I mean,
worse?
okay, so here's the thing. That, cheating is never okay, but I would guess she had someone who's actually showing her some sort of interest and compassion in whatever at work, being in this insanely toxic relationship, and instead of doing what she should have done, which is freaking run out the door and then maybe find this person
she
later.
acted out.
Whether it was acting out, whether it was like, oh, this is someone who's actually showing interest in me, whatever it is. But I mean, even the idea too of like, oh, all wipe your crimes if you wipe mine. It's like, no, that is not going to fix the issues
Underlying
happening
issues,
here.
not at all.
Just leave.
So
Please.
I've never been close to this. I've never cheated, and vows mean nothing, apparently. She also shared a lot of things she never told me, like her last grandparent passing away. In her words, he wouldn't care. Yes, I would have if she told me. She had no reason not to. I wouldn't have been so harsh about housework if I knew she was grieving. But no, go ahead, please. Don't tell me anything and then use it against me later, because that makes sense.
I disagree that he cheated. He coveted another man's wife and was like, you need to be more like this, more like this, more like this.
Yeah.
And then emotionally manipulated her to do that.
Yeah. It's
You're
so
on the same
gross.
page.
It's, yeah.
I thought couple therapists were supposed to be neutral. Isn't their entire purpose bringing couples together and helping them understand each other? Since when do they call their clients manipulative? How is that allowed? By the way, if you want to be manipulated by us positively,
Yes.
you should listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and just search OK Storytime. There's another relevant update. I'm just going to go straight into it.
Please.
So, anyways, back to the B wife. I can't forgive a cheater. She's staying with her parents for now as we are separated. I don't want her back in my house. It makes sense now why she didn't want to have spicy sleep anymore. We stopped going on dates. Our intimacy suffered, all because she cheated. Therapy was a waste of time and money, but I guess it was worth it in the end because I learned what kind of person she really is. She disgusts me. I did not want therapy, but I tried my best for her and to change. That is clearly not what she wanted because she cheated. I learned the information last month, and I finally have come to terms with it. As for my friends, I'm still cool with a few of them. Others clearly look down on me, so I don't interact with them anymore, but we don't eat lunch together anymore. I sit elsewhere now, and it's not too bad, honestly. I'm meeting new people. Maybe I'll find love again soon, but who knows? My witch in Espanol, my reputation at work in regards to personal matters is kind of crap now. Well, that's really it. Thank you all for reading. And we got a couple comments I'm going to read, but I don't really feel too bad for this guy.
I don't feel bad in the slightest. He needs more terrible things to happen.
Comment 1. Karma came to bite you in the butt. I do not blame your wife one little bit for cheating on you. Good for her. You deserved it because you are a harmful, disgusting human being who does not deserve to have anyone love you. Not pulling any punches there. OP responds, it makes sense. It makes no sense how you all are justifying this. Why not leave me? Why go to therapy with me just to cheat on me and see if I'll forgive you? How does that make sense? She only hurt herself more in the process. I've seen the vermin she slept with, and trust me, that's not much to speak of. I'm honestly embarrassed for her.
Oh my gosh. Another part of me, a lot of people were saying she didn't even cheat. She just brought up. You brought up that you watched Korn and then made her compulsively vomit. Maybe she just did that to see what you would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think cheating is good, but this guy definitely wasn't laying groundwork for a great relationship.
Correct.
Comment 2, I don't know, mental abuse seems pretty on par, if not worse than cheating. For me, in comment 3, everyone told him on the last post that you can only chip away at someone mentally for so long before they recognize you're bad for them, and move on. Then she does exactly that, and he's shocked into rage and still can't look into the mirror to find any fault with himself. There's no way the cleaning was the first time he acted like a piece of poop. The way he described himself, smiling like a cartoon villain, that's someone who is very comfortable coming up with plans for manipulation. Good riddance. I'm glad your wife is going to get to live her best life, and I hope you contain yourself from the general public to minimize future harm. And that is where that story and this episode ends.
Oh, put him in a box.
Let's put him in a
So
box.
he can't talk to anybody.
Wow,
He will
that
eat
guy.
lunch alone for eternity.
That guy is terrible.
That is correct.
Yeah.
True statement has never been said. Andrea Mars, thanks for the $2. She 100% didn't cheat. He lied to play victim. I would not be surprised in the slightest.
Yeah, that man
what
is
happened.
a piece of poopy.
Yep.
Just remember, don't allow that kind of poopy in your life. You should only date people that bring joy and love to your life. Little rays of sunshine.
Bingo. That's
Like
what you
Allie.
do. What you
Shout
do.
out my girl.
Yeah.
But that is where this story and this episode ends. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.